That means that everywhere in the whole of Nigeria where, you have to be referred for radiotherapy, you're referred to the one...
Tell me about just surviving and coming to a point of healing. Because at the beginning, you said it's not my portion, it's not anything.
Yeah, thank you. At the beginning, by the time I did the lumpectomy and then I took the specimen for pathology test, it was discovered that it was actually cancerous. Yes, that was the...
You didn't drop and say, man, this is the end.
When I heard it, I wasn't... Okay, I did the lumpectomy and then I went for the... Sorry, I took it for the pathology test and then I went to collect the results. Ordinarily, I was charged for the lumpectomy. I was seriously charged. And you can't believe that it was not... It didn't even contain... I mean, I wasn't given drugs and it didn't... I mean, they couldn't even check they couldn't check my pathology results from the money. So I was given my specimen to take it to Micure by myself. So I took it to Micure, and I was
Micure is a private establishment that does...
Yes. So I took it to Micure, and then I went 3 weeks after for my result. I was supposed to take that result it was sealed. I was supposed to take it to the doctor that did the lumpectomy. But while I was going home, I thought to myself, why would anybody give me anything about myself and expects me not to check it? So I was driving home when I opened the envelope, and lo and behold, he was cancerous. Initially, when I saw it, you know the way they write their English, they write it in such big, big words and all that. The only thing I could understand from it was I saw malignant. The first time I saw malignant, I was in primary 6, which means I know the meaning of malignant. But at that time, I failed to understand what malignant meant because I didn't want to...
You refused to accept it?
Yes, I refused to accept it. So eventually, I took it to the doctor, and of course, they confirmed that it was malignant. And at that point, I realized that, of course, it was all about me paying more money, but, the real treatment was not, being faced. Okay, because there were some things that they ought to have done before the lumpectomy that they didn't do, which is the biopsies. I wasn't done... I mean,
absolutely,
they didn't do biopsies,
I must take a break.
In fact, the kind of treatment I eventually did in 2016 could have been done for me in 2014. So I was just lucky. The 2 years that I wasted waiting and looking for oncologists and waiting for, healing somehow and everything could have gone the other way. So it was just God. It was just God that preserved my life. It was just Him that said I wasn't going to die at that time because I took a very big risk. I didn't know I was sitting on a time bomb until I met the real oncologist who worked on me. Actually,
Tinu, I must take a break. I must take a break because I must introduce at least one of the few oncologists I know on the set. I'll be right back with Tinu if you don't go away. Yes, welcome back. I had a very long break because we had the conversation right here getting hot because Dr. Lawal is joining me on set now. Officially, you can come. Dr. Lawal is with the Lagos State... No.
Lagos University Teaching Hospital.
What's the
clarification? Give me a high five, doctor.
No, Lagos University Teaching Hospital.
That's Tinu. This is Dr. Lawal. No relation. This is Lawal.
Maiden name?
Your maiden name is...
Lawal.
No, your
maiden name is Lawal, yes.
So she's my sister.
Do you know each other?
She's my sister,
But the reason I invited Dr. Lawal here is when my mom was diagnosed with cancer 2 years ago now, he was the one that attended to us the first time. And I liked what he did with my mother. That's why I said, look, there has to be a way of when you find out, I have cancer, what do you do? He was joking, he's a comedian. I don't know whether they teach you that in medical school.
Well, it so happens that I'm a surgeon. I work in the theater. And when you talk of theater, you talk of actors. So, what else?
No, but tell me though, I mean, you work in the oncology department.
Yes, general surgery specifically. And we see a lot of oncology cases, patients with cancers. Now, the first thing you just have to know is that because of the medical knowledge of this day, you should realize that once they say you've got cancer, it's not a death sentence.
You can see.
It's actually what you do after you get that information that either makes it a death sentence or makes you live. Because now, let's get this straight. Everybody who's born must die. And there must be something that's going to kill you. road traffic accident, cancer, malaria,
And we all know that,
heart
but
failure.
still we are scared.
Yes, but we all try to live for as long as possible.
That's right.
But we can't live forever. However, coming back to the issue of cancer, once you hear that you have cancer, the first thing you should do is step back and clear your head. Because the first instinct is for you to panic. Oh, I'm going to die. Am I dying tomorrow? Oh, no. It's not like that. A lot of cancers these days can be cured. And the key is actually early detection for all cancers. In fact, all cancers can be cured if they are detected early enough.
Okay, I'll go to a bit that's a bit of controversial, to the extent that Tinuke's concern is the fact that people who are not trained oncologists are treating oncology issues. Am I correct or wrong?
Oh, yeah, we have a lot of that in Nigeria.
Mm-hmm. Because you had a near miss. I know that I read about this. You had a near miss. Your lumpectomy didn't go too well. The thing, you paid a lot of money for it. But when you realized that this was
No, the lumpectomy went well. It wasn't as if it didn't go well. But the fact is, there were some things that needed to have been done before the lumpectomy, which was not done, which I realized. Mm-hmm. And like biopsies and all that, yes. Mm-hmm. And then, after that, the kind of treatment that was being offered, I knew that it wasn't just right. It wasn't the right thing. So I didn't want anybody in Nigeria to touch me any longer.
So, but eventually you got a treatment in Nigeria?
Yeah, eventually it was just by God, because it took me about 2 years before I eventually allowed anybody to touch me in Nigeria. I didn't want to, and it was by faith.
Where did you get your
treatment? It was in Luth. They have very intelligent doctors. They have good oncologists and radiation doctors.
They have a department.
Yeah, they have a department. So, of course, if you have a surgeon or you have any other people working along with them, then you can call them oncological surgeons, and they know what they're doing because they deal with cancer cases.
The question here is people should be careful. You said they didn't do the right thing. What are the right steps?
I keep saying in my blog, in Nigeria, the only place that I know where you can, especially, in Nigeria, let me know if you say Lagos, is Luth. Is Luth, because that's the only place where I know.
No, you can't clap for Luth.
No, I'm clapping for them because other university teaching hospitals do not have.
So how did Luth get to that level?
Sorry, they do not have this department. So if they don't have it, then what experience do they have? What experience are they telling me?
So it doesn't seem like we're talking on and on, because first of all, you guys saw yourself for the first time here. Before they think Luth is paying me to do this. So the question for me, what I'm trying to achieve here is, you find out you have cancer. What are the steps that you must take?
Firstly, you should, like he said, you should, first of all, get yourself together. Know that it's not a death sentence, especially when you found it early. You can get cured. Mm-hmm. The moment the first thing that cancer does to you, I tell people, I said, cancer is a bad spirit. It comes to you. I call it, when I was asked to define cancer, I said, it's a friendly enemy that comes to you, A friendly in the sense that it's a cell. Cancers develop from cells in our bodies, and we all have cells in our bodies. It comes to you like a friend, but it's actually to kill you. Its aim is to kill you, to destroy everything about you.
What does Dr. think about that, so, medically?
Well, medically, I quite agree with her. All cells in the body have a potential to become cancerous, but not all of them become cancerous. Actually, the body has a mechanism by itself with which it takes care of cells that have gone awry and have become cancerous.
And spreading.
It's only when that self-regulatory mechanism fails that the cancer is able to grow and maybe spread.
Okay.
However, once you know that you have cancer,
the first thing to do?
The first thing to do is to actually go ask your doctor or whoever. Well, I expect that it's a doctor that is going to make that diagnosis.
We were referred, for example, to Luth by a GP who said, go to this place.
Exactly, because they have a department of oncology and radiotherapy. I wouldn't advise anybody, and I'm still saying it as a survivor, I'm going to say it once, again and again and again. I'm not going to advise anybody to go to just any doctor. Go to where you know you have.
Let your doctor refer you.
Just a minute. You see, the important thing is that your doctor should refer you to a place where they have specialists.